warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I bid to everyone who is watching us. So we are back with our second seminar, which is we are given the topic for supply chain management, which consists of a lot of subtopics that will be discussed by me and my crewmates, which are: first is Amira Anissa binti Ishaq. Second is Nur Zahira Muhammad Zulkarnain. Third is Nur Afrika Samsul Kamar. And last but not least is me myself, Nur Sakina binti Muhammad Hamid. So let's proceed to our first presenter, Miss Amira.
Okay, hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Amira. I will explain to you what is SCM or Supply Chain Management. Okay, SCM is a product or services, is a flow of product or services that cover all process from raw material into a final product. It's for what is SCM for? SCM is for maximize a customer value and gain competitive advantage in the marketplace. It also to develop and implement supply chains that are as efficient and economical as possible. It cover everything from production to product development, and then it's go to information system. It's cover all. That is supply chain management or SCM. Okay, now I will explain to you the 5 stages of supply chains. The first one is an organization will have to create a strategic plan, so that what plan to meet a customer demand. Okay, the second one in the 5 stage of supply chain is we have to identify and select supplier that can supply a material to the organizations. And then the third one is a manufacturing of the product, where it include the overall process, which like scheduling, testing, ensuring the compliance of the requirement of the product. So that is the third stages, which is manufacturing. The fourth one is the delivery, which the delivery focus on that the finished good will get to the customer. So and the last one is the number 5 is where the customer can return back the defective product or product that have been produced and have obsolete to the organization back. So this is 5 stages. So the simple one of these 5 stages is: first one, we create a plan, strategic plan. The second one is we choose a supplier. The third one, we manufacture the product. The fourth one is we deliver the product, the finished product. And the number 5 is returning the defective product or obsolete product to the organizations. So that is 5 stages of supply chains. Okay, this is SCM diagram or example of SCM that you can find in most of the company. It's a basic SCM. So as you can see, the first one it shows us that it starts from a raw material. The second one is supplier. The third one is go to the manufacturing. The fourth one is go to the distribution. We'll distribute the products or services. And the number 5 is the retail locations, where we should send the products that we have been made. And lastly, it go to the consumer, which is our customer. That is a basic SCM that we can always find in company. But there is also another company that use a different flow of SCM.
Now we move to the objective of supply chain management. Firstly, it is ensuring efficiency within operation. It means it can help in managing inventory effectively. Transportation and logistics can be a complex process, and it can greatly benefit your operation. Secondly, it is optimizing transportation and logistics. The SCM will plan optimized transportation and logistic activities with any vendors or buyers. Orders are automatically put into a system. Thirdly, It is focusing on quality improvement. It means by providing consumers with the absolute best value is a goal that is shared by you and your supply chain partners. The fourth, it is maintaining long-term stability. It means by forming strong, trusting supply chain relationship and working toward best practices in distribution, your company can aim for long-term stability.
Okay, hi. You come back to me back. My name is Amira. Okay, now I will tell you about what is the benefit of SCM. Okay, this is the first 6 benefit of SCM. I'll tell you that the first one, SCM help a company to have a better ability to predict and meet the customer demands. The second one, SCM help the company to have a better supply chain visibility, risk management, and have a predictive capabilities in producing a product or services. The third one, the company will have a fewer process that not efficient, and they will gain a less product waste if they use SCM. The fourth benefit is that there will be an improvement in the quality of the product, since SCM help the company to cover all the inefficiency process. It also have give less product waste for the product, so it's covered. It will improve the quality of the product. The number 5 of the benefit of SCM is it's a lower overhead and improve cash flow. Also have a more efficient logistics, since there will be a less product waste, or the process also have been reduced, where process that not efficient will be eliminated from the process of doing in creating a final product. So the cost of overhead will be reduced also. And the last one is increase sustainability from societal and environmental standpoint. So this is 6 benefit of SCM, and actually SCM SCM have many more benefit for a company if they use this supply chain management in their organizations. So I will tell you these 6 greater effect on organizations if they use SCM in their company. Okay, now we move to managing supplier. Okay, supply chain with supplier. What is that? SRM. I will tell you about SRM. Which is SRM means supplier relationship management. Okay, what is SRM? SRM is a systematic approach where it is used to assess supplier contribution to the business. Okay, it help organize determine which supplier are the best influence for achieving a success in the company. Okay, the main goal of SRM is of course to improve a business process between the organization and supplier in producing a product or services. Okay, more explanation about SRM. SRM is a systematic approach. It was enterprise-wide assessment on a supplier asset that determine which activities that can be engaged with the supplier, and which activities that can engage with a different supplier. That it cover all the business strategy. So it's a planning and execution of all interaction with the supplier to maximize the realized value. The value realized through the interaction with the supplier, between the supplier and organizations. So that is SRM.
First one is the organizational structure. We know that organizational structure is consists of most contexts, which is the first one is a formal SRM team or office at the corporate level, which is the purpose is to facilitate and coordinate SRM activities across functions and business units. Second, it is a formal relationship manager or supplier account manager role, which is such individuals often sit within the business unit that interacts most frequently with that supplier. or may be filled by a category manager in the procurement function. And the third one is an executive sponsor, and for complex strategic supplier relationships, a cross-functional steering committee, which is these individuals form a clear link between SRM strategies and overall business strategies. So for the governance, governance is when the SRM office and supply chain function are typically responsible for defining the SRM governance model, which includes a clear and jointly agreed governance framework in place for some top-tier strategic suppliers. So effective governance should comprise not only designation of senior executive sponsors at both customer and supplier and dedicated relationship managers, but also a face-off model connecting personnel in engineering, procurement, operations, quality and logistics with their supplier counterparts. So next, also we will proceed to the joint activities. Okay, for the joint activities, suppliers may include supplier summits, which bring together all strategic suppliers together to share the company's strategy, provide feedback on the strategic supplier relationship management program, and solicit feedback and suggestions from key suppliers. And also it is executive to executive meetings. Okay, for the value measurement, we know that SRM delivers a competitive advantage by harnessing talent and ideas from key supply partners and translates this into product and service offerings for end customers. One to formative performance and identifying areas for improvement is the joint two-way performance scorecard. Okay, moving on to the systematic collaboration, which is in practice, SRM expands the scope of interaction with key suppliers beyond traditional buy-sell transactions to encompass other joint activities which are predicated on a shift, which is, we know that, more disciplined and systematic and often expanded information sharing. Okay, and last but not least is the technology and systems. So there are myriad technological solutions which are purported to enable SRM. These systems can be used to gather and track supply performance data across sites, business units, and origins. So the benefit is a more comprehensive and objective picture of supplier performance, which can be used to make better sourcing decisions as well as identify and address systemic supply performance problems. Thank you.
Okay, the next one is supplier performance management. What is a supplier performance management? Supplier performance management is a business practice that is used to measure, analyze, and manage the performance of the supplier. The purpose is to cut costs, alleviate risk, and drive continuous improvement in the organizations. So the main tools that SPM use to monitor a supplier performance is SPS, which is Supplier Performance Scoreboard. It is involves tracking a quality, delivery, lead time, price, responsiveness of a supplier over time, and improve supplier relationships in the organizations, with the organizations.
Okay, let's proceed to the selection of supplier. Okay, we have all together 5 steps of selection of supplier, but if you guys try to make a research, there are actually a lot of selections of suppliers. It will depend on the company on how they will like to select their suppliers, because sometimes it will depend on their nature of business on how they will select the suppliers, because different business have different desires to select suppliers. Okay, let's proceed to the first one, which is the understand and accommodate supplier interests. Okay, understanding what makes a supplier tick, why they do what they want, what they do builds trust and synergy, the 2 critical ingredients for success in business. The interests of your suppliers should match your supplier selection criteria. So next one is align suppliers to your strategic plan. Okay, this is critical to success in business. The key is to have common goals and objectives. Your supplier selection processes should be so robust that the output is a selection of suppliers whose strategic plans are closely aligned with yours. Next one is to collaborate and integrated technologies. Okay, include suppliers in your decision-making process. Collaborate in all mission-critical areas of your business, from new product design to the manufacture and delivery of finished goods. Involve your suppliers for better supply chain results. Okay, next one we have align suppliers to customer requirement. Yes, just like what I said just now, it is very important for the company to decide what kind of suppliers they wanted, because it will depend somehow to the customer, because we want to meet the customer expectation, right? Okay, so we must help our supplier to succeed by ensuring that they understand your customer requirements. This will ensure that they include your purchase from your suppliers. Enable your conversion processes to produce goods and services that meet your customer specifications. Okay, and last but not least is to leverage suppliers' capability and innovative capacities, which means that select only suppliers who have world-class and innovative capabilities that they are willing to transfer to your organization. The better your organization is at transferring this knowledge, the better your procurement function will be at meeting its mandate.
Alright, thank you Sabrina. Next, we move to the analyzing supplier cost. The first one is cost of purchasing materials. This is when an organization buy raw materials from the supplier. So we need to calculate the other costs such as ordering, delivery cost from the supplier, receiving cost, and inspection cost. Inspection cost is to inspect whether the raw materials is achieve the quality. So all the costs need to included in order to analyze the overall cost. And the second one is cost of holding inventory. When you receive the raw materials from the supplier, you need to store the inventory, so need to include the cost of storage, assurance, obsolescence cost, and opportunity cost. The third one is cost of poor quality. The inventory received from the supplier is either in low quality or defective, so the cost included should be include the returning defective products to supplier, since we cannot use it, and downturn of using the low quality of raw materials. Since we cannot achieve the quality of the products, so the last one is cost of delivery failure. It is included the late of delivery and other costs such as expediting costs, additional labor costs, and the loss contribution margin. So these 4 types of costs need to analyze by the organization for the overall cost. Right now, we will move to the advantages of managing suppliers. The first one is reduce cost. When has a better relationships will lead to less issues that relates to the cost. And the second one is outsourcing. Relationships with trusted suppliers enable organizations to outsource a non-critical activity. And the third one is increase efficiency and communication. The service will improve to be more efficient, and issues can be handled more effectively when there is communication between the suppliers. The last one is continual improvement. Long-term relationships give an opportunity to the organization to engage with the supplier to have a continual improvement for the both products and services. Okay, next, disadvantages of the managing supplier. The first one is inconsistency. It will create serious inefficiency that will give an impact to the high cost. And the second one is misalignment, which is damaging your organization reputation with suppliers. And the last one is fails to get quality service from supplier. The product and services requirements cannot be met with the buyer needs or the buyer demands. Alright, thank you. So now I will talk about the managing inventory in a traditional way, which is economic order quantity. Okay, so what is EOQ? EOQ is the ideal order quantity a company should purchase to minimize inventory costs, such as holding costs, shortage costs, and order costs. Alright, so the key points in EOQ is the EOQ is a company's optimal order quantity that minimizes its total cost related to ordering, receiving, and holding inventory. And next, EOQ formula is best applied in situations where demand, ordering, and holding costs remains constant over time. Alright, 4 types of costs need to analyze in EOQ is the first one is ordering cost, which is associated with the ordering of material. The second one, carrying cost, which means the holding cost for the inventory. And the third one is inventory reorder point. It is the timing of order inventory followed the quantity of inventory. And the last one is safety stock. It is an extra inventory on hand to cover the demands of the consumers. Alright, next, if economic order quantity model is applied, the following assumptions should be made. The first one is the rate of demand is constant and total demand is known in advance. Next, the ordering cost is constant. And next, the unit price of inventory is constant, such as no discount is applied depending on the order quantity. Next, delivery time is also constant. And replacement of defective unit is instantaneous. And there is no safety stock level, which is the minimum stock level is 0. And the last one is restocking by the whole batch. Okay, now we move to the advantages and disadvantages of EOQ. The advantages of EOQ is minimize the storage and holding costs. The organization will suggest in buying a large quantity in fewer orders and or in bulk in order to take an advantage of discount in buying in bulk and to minimize the order cost because we only order at one time and delivery the products the material also at one time. Okay, next, specific to the business, we provide the specific numbers regarding how much inventory to hold, when to reorder, and how many items to order in producing the products that needed by the company. So next, we will move to the disadvantages of EOQ. The first one is based on assumptions. Assume a steady demand and immediate availability of items to be restocked. It does not account for seasonal or economic fluctuations. And the last one is complicated in calculations because AOQ requires to detailed data to calculate several figures. Alright, now I will pass to Sakina to talk more about the Kanban system, which is under the traditional ways of managing inventory. Thank you.
Move to the Kanban system. Okay, relax. It is a Japanese language. It comes from a Japanese language because, as you can see, kan is actually a card and ban is a signal. So they combine the word Kanban, then we have a Kanban system, which means it is a signboard or billboard in Japanese. So, okay, for this manufacturing system, it is for lean manufacturing and also just-in-time manufacturing because it will only be manufactured by the time they have ordered. Okay, who invented this system, which is Taichi Ono, an industrial engineer at Toyota, who is the one who developed Kanban to improve manufacturing efficiency. Kanban, okay, as we know, it is one of the methods in achieving JIT because the system takes its name from the cards that track production within a factory. For many in the automotive sector, we know that Kanban is known as the Toyota nameplate system. Okay, Kanban become an effective tool to support running a production system as a whole and an excellent way to promote improvement. And the benefit is it can establish an upper limit to work in process inventory to avoid overcapacity. Okay, and this why do they do this Kanban system? Because they are aiming for to limit the build up of excess inventory at any point in production. Okay, that is about Kanban system. Okay, don't worry, it's actually a JIT method, but basically it's just the name and the goals and the methods are different. Okay, so as based on what we have researched, Kanban system consists of three operations, which is the first one is the Toyota 6 rule. Toyota 6 rules formulated 6 rules for the application of Kanban. Okay, as you can see in the diagram. Okay, we have operational flow of production instruction in Kanban and operational flow of parts retrieval Kanban. Okay, let's look at operational flow of production instruction Kanban, the A green one. Okay, so the first one, production is instruction Kanban A is removed when operator retrieves parts. Then the preceding process, which is the second process, is only the exact number of parts indicated on the Kanban are produced. Okay, next, the third one is the Kanban is attached to the newly produced parts ready for the next process. Okay, and that is how they go. You know, you can see the instruction in Kanban. And let's look at the operational flow of parts retrieval Kanban. The A, you can say that maybe brown or maroon. Okay, that one. The first one is the parts retrieval Kanban is removed when an operator uses parts, and the next process is the operator carries the Kanban to retrieve replacement parts. The third one is the operator removes the production instruction Kanban and replaces it with a parts retrieval Kanban. And the last method is to the parts displaying the parts retrieval Kanban are transported to the next process. So that is how they manage to use the Kanban system. You can see the flow, like the arrows over there. Yeah, it's actually very easy, but this one is very specific. Okay, moving on, we have the second operation, which is the Kanban cuts. I think this is more popular because we have a lot of research. Mostly they use this Kanban cuts. Okay, Kanban cuts is the signal the need to move materials within a production facility or to move materials from an outside supplier into the production facility. So, okay, you can see from the manufacturing, right? It goes to the distribution. So the distribution, then it will come down is either go to consumption or we use the Kanban card labels to returns to the table. Okay, and then we have like, you know, the table. Yeah, we call it as Kanban table, and it has the red zone up there, and meaning that if the red zone is being reached, then production is such as the reconstitution of the consumption. Okay, the third one is the 3-bin system. A 3-bin system is also famous actually because it implements for the supplied parts where there is no in-house manufacturing. So we have supplier, we have stores, and we have process. So from the supplier will be given to the stores, which is supplier will replace the bin taken from the stores, and then it will go to process, which is the next bin is taken from the stores to replace the one that has just been completed. And when the bin is empty, it is returned to supplier for resupply. So basically it's some kind of a recycling method, but it's different just in Kanban because it will replace the bin taken from the stores. Okay, and there is this one, Kanban system. Kanban system, as we know, there is the word E, so it is about the technology. Yep, it's the technology. So the first one is from the warehouse, we can scan Kanban to empty, and then second is to destroy Kanban card, and then third, send electronic Kanban signal in real time, use and throw away Kanban cards, and then fourth, we give it to the supplier, email or visualization in which we in the BEB web, which Kanbans need to be delivered through email or IKS Canlis web, and then the supplier will print new Kanban cards and automatic changing of status to transport. Next, we have Kanban refilling and delivering with new Kanban cards, and last but not least is to scan Kanban to full. And that's all about the Kanban system and Kanban system. Thank you. Let's proceed to the next presenter. Alright, next is just-in-time system. Okay, what is this just-in-time system? It is a management strategy that aligns raw material orders from suppliers directly with production schedules. It is to increase efficiency and decreases waste by receiving goods only when they need for the production process, which reduces inventory costs. Also, this method requires producers to forecast demand accurately, and it is also known as the Toyota Production System, TPS, because the car manufacturer Toyota adopted the system in the 1970s. Alright, so for just-in-time purchasing, it is a cost accounting purchasing strategy which purchased goods will be delivered just as they are needed to meet customers' demand, and with JIT, after receiving the customer orders, the buyer will plan to purchase. The buyer will purchase the minimum number of items to meet the customer demands, and the JIT purchasing typically results in more smaller orders and frequent deliveries. Okay, also just-in-time purchasing goals is to purchase the purchases is to be reduced in the carrying cost of inventory, and meaning that less inventory on hand means that the buyer will need to pay less in storage and insurance costs. So JIT also requires less cash in the short term. Let's proceed to the next presenter, Zahira.
Now, we move to the cost and benefit of just-in-time system. Firstly, it is for smooth production flow. The arrival of material from suppliers to the delivery of goods to customer, the just-in-time system aims to prevent fluctuating production rates. Secondly, reduction in storage and waiting time. The just-in-time system, materials are purchased and goods produced only as required, rather than to build up stock for future use. Thirdly, it is for maintenance of equipment. The just-in-time system requires strict adherence to routine maintenance schedule. The fourth one is employee satisfaction and stronger relationship. It encourages multi-skilled workers, flexible facilities, and atmosphere of teamwork and stronger relationship between suppliers and producers through communication. The fifth one is automated purchasing. It is to improve efficiency and reduce time wastage. It also to ensure the existing of inventory level and production level are calculated automatically, making things easier and more efficient. The last one is reliable vendors. It means suppliers are limited. It can reduce the amount of time spent. It also involved in working with only reliable suppliers who can deliver high quality goods on time. And now we move to the just-in-time manufacturing. Firstly, just-in-time manufacturing is a production model in which items are created to meet demand, not created in surplus or in advance of need. Just-in-time manufacturing, also known as lean manufacturing. It refers to a system of manufacturing in which products are not built until the product is ordered and paid for. In order to support just-in-time manufacturing system, it requires discipline, structure, explicit process, and strictly limiting inventory. However, there are some potential risks, especially for smaller organizations. As example, minimum order policies can pose a risk to smaller manufacturers, and it might order smaller quantities of material. Now, we move to the purpose of just-in-time manufacturing. It is to avoid the waste associated with overproduction, waiting, and excess inventory. It also can help to minimize the amount of goods that we hold at any one time without compromising the production. And then we move to the benefit of just-in-time manufacturing. It can reduce cycle times. It also can faster the time to market the product, and it also can help to reduce the operating cost of the product. In order to help the company who applies just-in-time manufacturing to be succeed, it is important to find suppliers that are close by, or the suppliers that can supply materials with limited advance notice. And now, I will explain about the application to the industry. In managing inventory, there will be two methods used. The first one is contemporary. It includes just-in-time system that may involve just-in-time purchasing or just-in-time manufacturing. And the second one is traditional method, and I will explain about the EOQ later. The company that we chose to be the example of EOQ is McDonald's. McDonald's used EOQ to determine the most optimal order quantity and minimal cost while ordering material. The optimal order quantity in relation to purchase definite products should contribute to minimize the annual ordering and inventory holding costs while achieve fixed volume. The strategy developed based on high quality products and speed of services provided. And now, we move to the example of just-in-time purchasing. The first company that has been chosen is Toyota Motor Corporation. Toyota Motor Corporation orders parts only when it receives new car orders. It installed this method in 1970, but it took 20 years to make it perfect. This implementation nearly caused the company to a screeching halt in February 1997. After a fire at Japanese-owned automotive part supplier Aisin decimated its capacity to produce P-valve. Aisin, the sole supplier of this part, had to shut down their operation for weeks. Due to the shutdown, it caused Toyota to halt production for several days. It caused ripple effect. Other Toyota suppliers had to shut down their business because the automotive has no need for their parts. And now the second example of the company for just-in-time purchasing. And the company is Apple. Apple leveraged their suppliers to achieve just-in-time goals. Apple has only one central warehouse in the US and about 150 key suppliers worldwide. They develop strong and strategic relationships with their vendors. The outsourcing of production made Apple leaner and resulted in slashing costs and reducing stock. Most of their inventory is at their retail stores. Apple began to take advantage of drop shipping. As a result, this reduced shipping costs, wastage, and storage costs. It also includes a willingness of suppliers to keep inventory on hand, allowing Apple to be free of this responsibility. The holding inventory at their retail stores and the dropshipping arrangements is used for online purchases. And now, we will take a look on the example of just-in-time manufacturing, and the company that has been chosen to be the example is Dell. Dell approach to just-in-time is different as they leverage their suppliers to achieve the just-in-time goal. Dell also is able to provide exceptionally short lead time to their customers because they are forcing their suppliers to carry the inventory instead of carrying them by themselves. They also simply assemble by Dell quickly, and then Dell will directly ship it to the customer. The factors implemented by the Dell to succeed in just-in-time system is: the first one, Dell has dependent suppliers with the ability to meet Dell's demanding lead time requirements. Secondly, a seamless system that allow Dell to transmit the component requirement so that they will arrive at Dell in time to fulfill its lead times. Lastly, a willingness of supplier to keep the inventory on hand, allowing Dell to be free from this responsibility.
So that's all from us. Thank you for watching.